Video games today are sprawling universes, cinematic, emotional, and endlessly complex. We explore photorealistic landscapes, build global communities, and experience stories that rival Hollywood in scope. But it all began with something much simpler. Imagine a black screen, two white paddles, and a bouncing square Pong. Pong's magic was its simplicity, a new kind of fun that put players in control. That single pixel sparked a revolution. The journey from Pong to today's virtual realities is a story of relentless innovation and creativity. Each decade brought new ideas, hardware, and ways to play. Games evolved from bouncing balls to navigating mazes, saving princesses, and exploring galaxies. This evolution wasn't just about graphics. It was about deeper stories and new ways to connect. We'll travel from the arcades of the 70s through the home console boom to the leap into 3D. We'll see how the internet turned gaming into a global phenomenon, and how indie creators brought fresh visions to the forefront. And we'll look ahead, where VR and AI promise to redefine what games can be. From simple dots to entire worlds, video games have become a powerful art form. Let's dive into the incredible history of how we got here. The story of video games is the story of worlds in our hands. The first video games emerged in university labs and military centers, not living rooms. In the 50s and 60s, engineers created simple games to test their massive computers. Space War. In 1962, let two players battle with spaceships, a technical marvel for its time. These early experiments proved computers could be used for play, not just calculations. The spirit of experimentation soon left the lab and entered the public sphere, the arcade. In 1972, Atari's Pong became an instant sensation, proving video games could be a commercial hit. This success sparked a wave of arcade classics: Space Invaders, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong. These games were simple: basic shapes, beeps, and a single goal: get the high score. The challenge was pure and addictive, testing reflexes and encouraging just one more try. The Pixel Age established the language of games: lives, points, levels. There were no complex stories, just gameplay at its core. Yet these games laid the foundation for everything to come. They were the building blocks of a new art form. From these glowing pixels, an entire industry was born. The arcade era proved games could capture imaginations and quarters worldwide. The stage was set for video games to become a cultural force. The early 80s saw a video game gold rush and a crash. Oversaturation and poor quality games led to the 1983 market collapse. Many thought video games were a passing fad. But Nintendo had a different vision. In 1985, they launched the NES in North America, rebuilding trust with a strict seal of quality. The NES became a cultural icon, reviving the industry and creating a new generation of gamers. Super Mario Bros. Redefined games, not just about high scores, but about adventure and discovery. The Legend of Zelda offered vast worlds and non-linear exploration, introducing saving progress for epic quests. Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest pioneered console RPGs, bringing deep stories and strategy. The 8-bit era proved games could be immersive journeys, not just reflex tests. Nintendo's focus on quality and adventure set the blueprint for modern gaming. Characters, worlds, and stories became central to the experience. The industry was reborn, stronger and more creative than ever. Nintendo didn't just save games, they transformed them. By the 90s, 2D gaming was perfected, but the dream was 3D worlds. Early arcade and PC games hinted at the potential, but home consoles like the PlayStation and N64 made it real. The PlayStation's CD-ROM and the N64's analog stick revolutionized graphics and control. In 1996, Tomb Raider and Super Mario 64 changed everything. Tomb Raider's 3D environments felt real, full of secrets and puzzles. Super Mario 64 let players explore freely, setting the standard for 3D platforming. This leap was as big as silent films becoming talkies. 3D opened new possibilities for storytelling and gameplay. Metal Gear Solid brought cinematic narratives. Zelda Ocarina of Time delivered epic adventure in 3D. Genres were reborn, and worlds became more immersive than ever. The move to 3D wasn't just about graphics, it was a fundamental shift in design. Players could now experience depth, exploration, and freedom like never before. The third dimension forever changed how we play and imagine games. The era of flat sprites was over. The age of virtual worlds had begun. The new millennium brought the internet and a revolution in gaming. Multiplayer was no longer limited to the same room, the world became your opponent. Early PC games like Doom and Quake teased online play, but broadband and consoles like Xbox made it mainstream. Xbox Live in 2002 set the standard: friends lists, voice chat, seamless matchmaking. Halo 2's online multiplayer created massive communities and defined modern shooters. Online gaming became a social activity, not just a hobby. MMORPGs like World of Warcraft built persistent worlds where millions played, quested, and formed virtual societies. Online play transformed games into living services, constantly updated and evolving. Esports emerged, turning competitive gaming into a global spectator sport. The internet connected players everywhere, making gaming a shared, global experience. Games were no longer static, they were dynamic, social, and ever-changing. The groundwork was laid for today's hyper-connected gaming landscape. The most compelling opponent, or ally, was now another human being. The world of play had gone online, and there was no turning back. For years, big studios dominated game development, but digital platforms like Steam and Xbox Live Arcade changed everything. Indie developers, sometimes just one person, could now reach players directly. This sparked the indie uprising. Creative risks, unique art styles, and personal stories flourished. Braid and Limbo proved small games could be beautiful, emotional, and innovative. Minecraft, created by a single developer, became a global phenomenon, an open sandbox for creativity. Indie games showed that passion and ideas mattered more than massive budgets. Stardew Valley and Undertale brought heartfelt stories and new gameplay twists. The indie movement pushed the industry to be more diverse and experimental. Big studios took notice, embracing creativity and risk. The result, a vibrant, ever-evolving landscape where anyone could make an impact. Indie games redefined what games could be: intimate, bold, and deeply personal. The power of a small team with a big idea changed the industry forever. Innovation was no longer limited by size, it was fueled by imagination. As indies explored new ideas, blockbusters chased cinematic realism. Modern consoles enabled photorealistic graphics and lifelike characters. Games like Uncharted blurred the line between film and play, with explosive action and gripping stories. Motion capture brought real actors' performances into digital worlds, adding emotional depth. The Last of Us told mature, resonant stories, making players feel deeply connected to characters. Gameplay and narrative merged, making every action meaningful. Red Dead Redemption 2 offered vast, living worlds. Players could lose themselves for hours, simply existing. The pursuit of realism became a driving force, creating immersive, believable experiences. Games were no longer just to be won, they were stories to be lived. The cinematic age showed how far games had come, from pixels to living, breathing worlds. Players became the stars of their own interactive movies. The boundary between playing and watching faded away. Games now rivaled film and TV in storytelling power. The art of gaming had reached new heights. The future of games is more transformative than ever. Virtual reality promises total immersion. Step inside the game, become the character. Augmented reality overlays digital worlds onto our own, turning everyday spaces into playgrounds. Pokémon Go was just the beginning. AR could soon bring games to our coffee tables and backyards. Artificial intelligence is set to revolutionize how games react to us. Imagine characters who remember your choices, worlds that adapt, and stories that change every time you play. AI could generate endless quests and unique experiences tailored to each player. Cloud gaming will let us play anywhere, on any device, without powerful hardware. The definition of a game will expand, blending with social media, education, and more. The next chapter is unwritten, but the possibilities are endless. Games could become indistinguishable from reality, or more imaginative than ever. The boundaries of play will keep expanding. The only limit is our imagination. The future of gaming is just beginning. From Pong's bouncing ball to today's photorealistic worlds, video games are a testament to creativity and technology. In decades, they've grown from a niche hobby to a global cultural force. Each era built on the last, pushing play into new territory. We've gone from Space Invaders to Hyrule, from Mario's 2D leaps to 3D adventures. The internet turned solo play into a global experience. Indies proved ideas matter most. Games are unique. They make us participants, not just observers. Our choices and skills shape the story. This interactivity is their magic, connecting us in ways no other medium can. Games teach, challenge, and unite us. The story of video games is far from over. It's just getting started. With VR, Arkansas, and AI, the possibilities are limitless. What new worlds will we explore? What stories will we help create? One thing is certain, The journey will be exciting. The most powerful worlds are the ones we get to play in.